Teres mereng kamari durus ngalapen Bina langgar ari Bina langgar kamari usikai elo
On B, Posey on A, and Ryu over the deep inside. That's the bomb, that's the kill, Wrinkle empty-handed. Hunter in the clutch, winnable, certainly now, but heads Ryu, gets the time, he knows Hooksy last seen B-side, he knows he's got the time to set this one up. Use time as his great ally. Hooksy, head-to-head, he's held his nerve. Wins it out in that captain's 1v1.
Interesting call there from G2, right? You kill two players top banana, you know there's a third shore, you're expecting that rotation away for the A defense, but they've just parked the bus. You walk into it, you're also getting blindsided, so... Hooksy looking over the fence there, maybe... Yeah, he is. He's definitely giving him a little bit of southern away to Hunter.
Okay.
A little bit of salt in the wind with this. As mentioned, once upon a time, teammates lifting trophies together. Hooksy got cast aside. No, we don't want you anymore, mate. Build back up to what was the successes of G2 once upon a time, but
Nice shot as well from Hooksy.
this is the thing, Hunter gets into boiler. He gets into boiler, that's round, right? So Hooksy's chasing Ghost at that point.
Ooh, sounded off a shot there, so in on Posey's coordinates.
Turning
This quite quickly into, at least they were something A-centric. No, it's not about the finishes, it's about the battle for banana control and top mid. You don't have to take banana first, you can go get boiler and balls, then get your bracket, vice versa. It doesn't matter, just as long as you are taking the space, forcing the CTs to rifle through this util.
Right in his top pocket.
Lamun kini kamari dari
Away through though, gives that ring gap. Hunter play the fade side by side with Mantis, and he has no one home. Some serious real estate now for G2.
Making it look like an outspot, but they're just going to walk long.
Yeah, with all the attention drawn. There is that rotation from CT. Stare and Hooksy on their way. Cognizant of the possibility of this gap. And then they'll use their own Moto Smoke to be hoping to be overlooked. Yeah, that's it. Stare had his nades out. Good find. First blood drawn. With Mantis in combination with Hunter makes life miserable for Yabi, standing and banging, finding two. Now's not the time for an inspect and no scope onto Yabi. The only way to bring him down. 3 decent output, but Posey not in a position to really play for this. And Orp on the way back in, never comfortable.
And lost bonus will be 1400 into the next, so he should hold on to this. This is getting more of a back and forth affair than the last two maps.
I really like that calling from Hunter.
I think it could have gone wrong because they're assuming they were starting 3A anyway. Right? They wanted to draw the attention for the out spot, but the attention was already there. They didn't know they had that gap. How they meant to know they had that gap.
There's some serious output. He just needs a little chip in from anyone else. Well, we are getting that closer and fair, Jack.
Down the stretches where it gets a little bit more difficult for Astralis because of the seesaw. Right? Posey can drop an M4. Decision. It's nice when Mattis gets to make his play. The interview with Saw over at HLTV talking about they don't really have a natural entry. They have these players who like to take their timings. So it means you need to be a little bit more creative with how you go about these things. It's not just run on in, get the job done. I like to be tricky with it. Also have quite a few players who have a similar profile. G2 is one of these teams to me that feels like a jack-of-all-trades team. You've got Heavy got one of the absolute best anchors in the world, but I feel like this man could play any role. Right now he's not really having to do too much in the fragging department, just 4 kills deep. On the CT side, I'm sure that will have to change as that pit anchor. Shots have shoved behind the safe door. Posey dropped the rifle. He's in with a Famous, 7 for Hooksy, and an MP9 for Yabi. They're buying next round. If they don't save anything, if they don't get anything done right now, it's 1900 loss.
Simple. One of these out of the hat already on their CT side. Is it asking too much to pull it off twice? Half angle adopted. This is a unusual set up to have Fozy responsible for the right side and Ryu mantles the radiator for the off angle. It's very unlikely the crosshair is pre-aimed by Heavy God, but then again, you were just speaking about his individual ability. We'll get to see it on display if he does proceed out.
So he just threw a flash into Boiler, which normally would tell of a player jumping up and starting to search for space there, but Heavy God isn't. I think Astralis believe there's a bit more coming their way. It is more over towards Banana, taking control of past half war now. The setup dismounted. Not to concern himself with.
Sweep from the AWP, course brackets cleared for now. 50 seconds for G2 to try and find their finish. CT smoke lands. Does look like Hoopsy plans to go for a 5-7 underhand. 5-7 backdoor.
There's going to be multiple flashes. Yabby and Hoopsy can both flash against this execute.
They actually want to stare out position. That makes life a bit uncomfortable. The flash connecting. You can see the whole squad. Oh, he's done well. He's done very well. Hoopsy set up to succeed.
Have to go big.
Yabby connected. 20 seconds. Got to fight your way back into this site. Fozy relays the information. He's ready for this. That's the ball. Now on the floor. Spews out of Wrinkle. And that is 5. Astralis, 2 rounds of the 5 they now boast off the back of these 5-7s. Can Hooksy the one to find output here? A double kill, Heavy God after time, 4,000 in the bank, no problem.
Yeah, it would have been nicer if he could have kept that. It'd be a drop for Nerds or Mattis, so it does actually make a difference. You see the multiple layering of the flash. Good call from Hooksy to have 3 strong over towards B. They had that top mid info. And it's just the layering of flash is going to catch them. How many can you possibly be ready for? Nobody playing anti there to get the job done as we can tie things up 6-6.
Execute, and that's it.
I might want to focus on a good execute. Limited resources to do so.
Especially if you can see an opener, you can see Fozy's going for some rather audacious forward position. Ooh, there's a little bit of a kerfuffle. Stay down to 64. Already very early AMP's presence from Heavy God.
Come down to the restraint on Util from Astralis. How much pressure G2 can apply to force out these nades. So Fozy with top mid control. It's hard for Heavy God just to swing into this.
And Fozy's quick, but clearly not quick enough. Heavy God beheads it. Oh, and the pre-fire. Yeah, Mattis knew what was up. The flash pops, he immediately nails it. Just Hooksy. Rotation has come through. You needed to find something, though. Empty hands for Hooks. Yabi needed a third. And it's Ryu. They know he's the A anchor. Heavy God has cut the rotation, so looking to at least leave with the lead. And the swap at the sides. A clean close from Heavy God.
And a really impressive opener there on that final round. They've been the ones who've been playing on the front foot over towards A, right? That Incendiary comes in top mid, he just takes a swing of Boiler off of that. The only thing you have to worry about if you're Fozy in that moment is that Boiler swing. So Heavy God, great opener. But as we recount that first half of play, it's a pistol, then you lost against the Force. You had a Hooksy 1v1 clutch against Hunter, and you had 2 rounds where you're on the lighter buys with saved guns cobbled together. So gun rounds is what seems to be eluding Astralis as far as their CT side is concerned. Good moments from G2 in the calling department, some well-pieced together rounds. And Hunter continues to stay towards the top of the scoreboard on 11, leading the way for G2 again. It's Yabi on the other side, who's had some moments, but not all of which that have been converted upon. Now the pistols at this point, 5 have been played, 3 are to Astralis, 2 are to G2. Let's see if we can level the field there. CT side now for G2.
Oh, it's clean. It's far too clean. The second shot out of Nerds just as good as the first. Astralis, they just can't hit a bullet onto Nerds. 3 kills deep. Anyone else? Nerds welcomes it. Let's do it. Yabi says okay.
He's got plenty of time, and Now he's got the bomb, but still we need to get into one of these two sites. So how confident are you, G2? How much do you want to overstep the mark? These type of setups, you just want to play for information so you can rejig, right? As soon as you know exactly where he is, you're able to plan for your teammates, box him in, and secure what should be the 8th round. With his up-down setup, feels impossible to break, right? He's going to worry about Coffin's backside.
Yeah, even the smoke won't save him with that boost. Impending doom for Yabi. Mattis makes it so. Sharp shots out of Nerds there. Really enjoyed that. We can spin that one back on the replay.
I was worried for Heavygod in that moment, right? Because sure, he has the information, but Ryu's still going to come in prepared for a fight, just not up this close. And Heavygod, if you feel like you just missed your timing and then you start to flub your lines, it can fall apart, but this one converted upon for Nerds. Remember that double kill he had top banana, which they were unable to make good on. No bomb going down. Astralis, this is going to be weaker looking force spy than you would have hoped for. And well, in the first half, G2 converted theirs. Tech 9, Deagles.
Yeah, they set the bar high.
Sentry. Looks like they want to give it over. You're worried at this point if they are behind that half wall smoke that they're setting up for one of those pop plays and you could get caught out of position in the open. But on the other side of the map, they play for info. So helping, I suppose, reinforce the worry over towards B by noting it's not an apps pop, but it could still be through mid. Hunter playing a block. Winkle playing very passive on long side over towards Arch. And that's all a fake. They're going to try and play through this long smoke.
Yeah, Wrinkle ready. MP7 feasts. 2 down, rather casual.
And now you just have to run in.
And that's exactly what they'll do. Mattis is going to just push with that MP9 to finish the job. Nerds has started here. Charges in. Good shot. Wow, good tracking. Single bullet to the dome.
You'll take the plant.
You will. Even if that nade really leaves a mark. Hooksy just gets the code punch, but his chances of a 1v4 on 13 HP are close to 0. They'll group up, ensuring that trade potential, using that low HP Nerds to draw crosshairs. And so G2 will weather the storm of the Astralis force.
The kill there on the SMG from Hooksy does make things a little bit more interesting, because if he wants to try and keep financial pressure on, he could drop an AK right now. It does mean come the first gun round, he's going to be in a tougher position, but that's good. That's making an assumption of how this next round will go. So if he wants to drop an AK and give it over to... He has dropped an AK. I would imagine it ends up with Stare. He's your map control player, right? He's the guy who's going to be in the thick of it around all of these smokes. So Hero AK, some light upgrades. Oh, is it light? It has worked out in the wash, 2,900 into the next. So how much damage can you do? Action on Stare. You've been set up by the leader. You need to find some output. This is not your round to win, but one where you can definitely keep the pressure on G2. Wrinkle's AWP sounding off early. That's going to limit a lot of your options.
Nuts is going to go for this jump spot. If he dared do it again, yeah, gets his info safely. Risk averse. And then on the reaggress, looks like they want to go for this. Not playing scared whatsoever. Stare. In hot pursuit. 2 on his screen, and he feasts. Matt is punching monitors. He can't handle that. A single rifle. They weren't anticipating it.
You're not risking an AWP on a retake in a round like this, right? This is where the finances can get out of control. You need to just go, all right, we got unlucky. We picked a bad timing. Stare has absolutely pummeled us right there, and you have to concede this.
Wow.
So another one of these rounds for Astralis in Inferno that it's not the full gun rounds. It's the lighter investments. And
that MP9 frag seemed like nothing, and it's transpired into one hell of a round for Astralis.
It's going to keep them in it for sure, right? They get a couple of extra rifles. They were hedging their bets anyway, so they're going to get this loss bonus and be sitting pretty with the buys. You know, if you can win the next against G2 and wipe the board, your opportunity to force them down to the eco. In fact, an AWP retained. You know that fired off. Yabi is going to try and strip something else away. Has a little bit of a timing available here. Bomb goes off. Does he want to be noisy on this pursuit? Spots out, takes his shot, and that'll be that. So 2 M4s, the AK carried across, and now the buys to complement exactly that. It's the other side of the server where the questions are. Look at this. Just absolutely no idea. Right, there was still some level of awareness here, but they're just assuming they haven't piled up close. And you can't be making assumptions like this. Lefty Lucy as we get 3 rounds the difference now. Neo knowing with a round like that, you start to stabilize some of these personalities on G2, especially if you can make it consecutive. So Wrinkle with the AWP, you want to take a look at his spawn. Is it good for mid, right? Does he have a good banana spawn? Are we going to extinguish? Look for a fight. I can tell you it's middle of the pack.
I think there's certainly players on G2 you can tilt. I just don't think Hunter is one of them.
No.
I think that man is tilt-proof.
He's said to me before, yeah, he does get emotional, he just doesn't show it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Which is, you know, stoicism in a captain can prove very valuable.
It's interesting when you contrast Hooksy to Hunter.
Yeah, true.
See wearing his heart on his sleeve. Once upon a time, very negative about himself, but gonna rebuild this Astralis.
He's got good pieces around him. He put Stair to good use in the previous.
Posey trying his best Zywa impression.
Oh, an opportunity. Just the pointy elbow of Nertz on his jiggles. Doesn't manage to quite connect the bullet.
And a similar setup right now that we saw in that first half. Wrinkle doing his best Fozy impression alongside of Heavy God.
Yeah, a tempered approach from Yabi as well. He's not rushing his opponent's control. He's doing it alone as well.
Nertz is going to be calling his own shots here in Banana. There's an incendiary landing half wall. A flashover as well. And well, he catches the nade. Does he feel that he can get out of there?
I think they're going to clear him out. Ooh, Heavy got onto Yabi.
Not expecting that was Yabi.
The bailout smoke's great from Mattis, and oh, it's all falling into place. Everything collapses for Astralis. Even better from Wrinkle. Finds Fozy 4 and 10, quiet from the Swede.
And Heavy got into the upgrade, ready for this step. Completely known and noted. Hunter not going to overplay his hand. And they want to keep this one spotless to make up for the mare that was the last.
Very quick to rectify, and in a dominant fashion as well.
I think fortunately for Astralis, right, winning that lighter buy round does leave you with extra cash on 3 of your 5 members. It's Yabi and Stair who are the ones that are lacking. But double digits now for G2.
Maybe it was just a blip on the radar. Like you said, just a well-found timing from Stair in the previous. But very quickly, falls straight back under G2's control. And they're getting dangerously close to the magic number here. Elimination at stake for Astralis. And an opportunity getting ever closer for G2 to find themselves not only in the quarterfinals, but to win a playoff game at a Tier 1 event this year.
Yeah, that's going to feel good. I'm not even sure if they're too privy to that, right? You're the ones who are playing these tournaments, but okay, hold up. This is very fast towards apps. Wrinkle's forward.
Yeah,
he's going to get blindsided.
Hang on. Cognizant of the possibility. Double HE doesn't find its mark. He's done well to get away.
I thought there he was going to get caught, but aware of his timings. Now the Orb's going to search. If he can post up and look towards Moto, he might be able to catch a player in transition. So this is Fozy hoping to catch Hunter. Denied by the smoke, and he'll have to go fishing elsewhere now.
What's this standoff from Banana? They're next to each other. Yeah, Stair completely unprepared for Nertz to have been burrowed into that smoke towards logs.
And no ability to react right now for Astralis.
Easy. I thought it was easy. Wrinkle has the angle held. Fozy peeks in and finds his counterpart down. Still not looking good for Astralis. Look at Yabi's armored Deagle, going to do whatever he can. The bomb's still loose. They've got 50 seconds out to fight. And that's a dead Ryu.
The game slips away from you right now. You only have 2,400 into the next round. G2 will have 11. That's why Fozy probably is considering a save of some variety, but you need to start posting rounds on the board. So it's a terrible decision either way.
Nertz can just have these rounds where he just gives you a round for free.
Yeah, it's important, right, with a player like Nertz that it does have a good read on the game, right? He needs to be finding these timings, catching these moments. He's a playmaker through and through.
I think he's a bit of a mind reader as well when it comes to his opponents. He can really, when he hits his stride, be plugged into the mainframe, have a good idea of what you're thinking.
But that's why he's so volatile, right? Because you make those plays, you need to continue to do so. And if you're really just having one of those games where timing is against you, you can get nothing done. It will be the save. They retain an AWP. They retain an M4. They give them something around the 2,400 loss, but sailing away with this one, G2 now.
So we are going to have a technical pause. Ryu just going to have to make some adjustments. Has been, as you saw from the stats, a quiet couple of rounds from him. And this was a funny one, actually. You can see on the replay, Nertz's position, fair play. You know, I don't blame Stair for not overlooking that possibility. Nertz playing it cheeky. Little smile on his face as they are just 2 rounds away from the quarters.
We'll find out their opponent later today. We've got Furia versus Aurora coming up next on the mainstream. Foot versus Magic raging on, and then, well, they'll be playing the winner of the Gamer Legion Mao's game. So concluding the upper half of this bracket, and this is where you feel an opportunity for any of the teams on this side of the bracket for a deep run here at EWC 2026. The big names, your Falcons, your Vitalities, your Spirits, your Na'Vis, they're all in the lower half. Sure, Furia are here. Mao's as well, just off of that bounty win. There's no doubt which side of this bracket is easier as Wrinkle posts up aggressively again. Internal time up. Allows him to backpedal before Yabi can get there. Someone might go out with a whimper for Astralis. Can Fozy catch anything on the jump?
They're just clinging on, aren't they? Wow. Leg shot.
Unconfirmed. Oh, the blood on the wall might be telling.
Mattis will pull back into that B side, so space conceded.
You used a lot of utility to get that control. You are going to need a rotation. Hunter silently cheating over. He knows he can be heard from top banana if he runs.
You don't see this boost all too often, but once a half, it can be overlooked. Stare, how's your clears? And Ryu, can you trade? Okay, info, drops off. Oh, and then Mattis onto Ryu. They've done well. Fozy and Yabi, though, with Hunter now arriving just in the nick of time. Oh, Hoopsy's in trouble. They're so low, 29 HP. Going for that double dip off the flash. He's got Yabi booked, and it's easy for Hunter. Out with a whimper indeed, Chad, because 12 on the board for G2.
Well, good opportunity for Hunter to maybe throw some words back at the defense the other way after that clutch early in the first half of play. Looks like we could be ending with 3 maps in this series being 13-6. Ancient made it seem like Astralis are not to be overlooked. Dust 2, real thorn in their side. Another map added to that loss streak.
I knew it's gonna happen.
6-24 for the year now. It is just a clear weakness in their map pool.
It's not something you can afford to when you get to these later stages in tournaments. They will find that weakness and exploit it.
Especially when some of the best teams in the world are great on Dust 2. Your Vitalities, your Spirits, your Falcons. Those are the top 3 big dogs. All very, very good Dust 2 teams. But Inferno's where this one feels like it's going to fall apart for Neo. One more round, 5 more kills. That's all Hunter and the boys need.
Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. For Astralis now, an uphill struggle on Galils to defend their honor. 6 straight rounds. Asking an awful lot.
Wrinkle's got a good spawn for mid right now. Let's see how aggressive this man wants to be.
He's definitely playing it his way. Likes to go for these aggressive lines. And just on the edge of that smoke, he's actually going to poke his nose forward. Knows there's no rival AWP, or can expect so. Stare progressing. This fight is to and fro for some top banana control, and they have won it out. They have their space. Retake util onto the half wall. Wrinkle wants to take this fight head on, and he's actually going to go for a sweep. There's only one man here trying to hold these rotates. It's passive from Yabi. Anticipates this clear. Ooh, Wrinkle doesn't pull the trigger, and Yabi can run him down. That's going to lead to some rotations. Look at this, though, burrowing into the smoke. They're right next to each other. A freebie for Stare. Oh, and he gets a second. Bomb was committing A. That's Heavy God's domain. Understandably, calling B site clear now is Stare. What do you do with that information? You move the bomb back, but Hunter's already there. He's being flanked by Hooksy.
Have to know this is a possibility. They're just trying to deal with the rotation of Heavy God. Surely they know Hunter could have slipped into Ruins.
Yeah, Stare did just have a glance, but he's gotten across undetected. Fozy, yeah, just exposed. For the denial. Oh, that's a quick trade out of Stare. Fair play. He's had another one of these rounds where he just gives Astralis the round they so desperately need.
That can get very out of control. I think Hooksy's probably the safety net. They're coming through CT. Hunter unlikely to expect that, but Stare was very low after the kerfuffle in Banana, so the fact he's able to get one more.
It does feel like it's unrealistic to ask him to keep doing that. I mean, the 2 rounds they have on now on this T side are thanks to Stare's output on B.
But that's one where we asked to, point out pressure points for these teams. It is about key players making moves, right?
Yes.
Nerds on the CT side, the same for Stare now on the T side, and it's about how do they interact, how well do they read each other, as Heavy God is going to be Hunter. They want to take this away, and they will. AK denied. So this is a very difficult comeback. HooXi trying to keep the energy there. Third and final tactical timeout called from Saw. They won't have any issues in the buy. Hunter, before investing, still has 11k, so drops are available. Rinku, you thought that was going to be his every day of the week. Wasn't expecting someone up close and personal, so very good time for Yabi to find his first opening kill of the map. I'll keep him in it for now. We need to win this one, and then we can talk about a G2 eco. We wonder if this is Saw wanting to call the complexion of the round, or just hoping to keep the mental in check. It's all right, boys. We've still got a big lead right now. Let's just stay locked in. We'll find out with the opening there. I'm going to start 3 over towards B. It's not the AWP. It's going to be Hunter joining this and setting up Nerds and Matters for some banana aggression. Big nade.
Good connection. Oh, what? Wrinkle! His aggressive AWPing has finally paid dividends on that boiler room.
Bomb down T stairs. Banana pressure now.
Yeah, and they're all doing the dance now in the smoke. It's panic stations for Astralis. Is this the last round? It absolutely has to be.
Line them up, knock them down. Nerds is here. 21 kills deep. One more to find, and Astralis are getting their key crushed.
That is a strike if ever I saw one.
You don't even get to play the round. You don't even get to see the opponent. You're behind a smoke. You're running away, and the map is almost done.
Astralis just skittles. And they look to Yabi, head in hands, watching as their chances of seeing those quarterfinals dwindle. No chance to breach this one. Into the AWP. New boy Wrinkle misses his shot, but it's Hunter to close it down. A convincing series from G2. 13-7 to close it out. The quarters are theirs. And a win at a Tier 1 event as well in those playoffs.
It's eluding them all year long up until this point. Astralis fall by the wayside, and we note for G2 from the organizational perspective, this is an important victory to pick up for the club championship. They do march on. They will take on the winner of Furia versus Aurora coming up later today. And the question is, how far can the G2 go? They changed the AWP. They're looking for a new complexion, looking for something a bit more aggressive. Saul believing they had reached the cap with the former roster. Now, this one did go the distance. Ancient left a lot to be desired. Dust 2 and Inferno. Astralis steamrolled and eliminated here at EWC.
Key takeaways is Nerds' performance on that third map as well. What an asset he is to the squad. You've got some real hard hitters on G2, and you've got the calm presence of Hunter, who's also fragging up a Storm, certainly a fragging in-game leader. Astralis' fans disappointed, won't be seeing another day of play.
They're not the biggest scalps for them, but they take down MIBR, they lose to Falcons, they defeat NIP, and eliminated by G2. Let's hear from Hunter.
And G2 stands strong here in Paris with their first win against Astralis 2-1. Congratulations, Hunter. Of course, it's a pleasure to welcome you here in Paris, first of all. I know you're used to those big crowds, and you're also used to one other thing is beating your ex-IGL. HooXi, it's the second time this year, and you took the IGL in role not so long ago, so can we talk about an IGL diff at this point, and is it easier facing him because you know a little bit of his patterns and his style? Tell me about it.
I mean, yeah, IGL is not an easy job, but I think we've changed a lot, both of us. I know what he liked to do and what he liked to call, but I'm not too much thinking about it. I'm just trying to focus on the team and what we should do. But yeah, it's not easy. I'm really happy that we won, and I'm grateful for the crowd that we have, because I think after Vitality, I felt the most warm welcome for us.
Yeah, when we did the walk-ons, indeed, the crowd was really cheering for you. Donc, première question, est-ce qu'on peut parler d'une IGL div? C'est pas la première fois que tu bats ton ancien IGL HooXi là-dessus. Bah, effectivement, être IGL, c'est pas facile. J'identifie forcément, je sais ce qu'il aime call, je sais ce qu'il aime faire, mais j'essaie surtout de rester focus sur notre jeu, et je suis très content aussi. Merci au public de nous avoir hype, parce que je pense qu'on était la deuxième équipe la plus hypée après Vita, donc merci pour ça. And it's often said that IGLs need to be carried by their teammates in order to win. Yet you've been playing amazing so far in the EWC, and when we look at you, it seems easy. So how do you do both?
I mean, yeah, with experience, I'm trying to do both. I am trying my best. Obviously, my goal is not to be top fragger, but of course, if I have a chance to do it, I will shoot and I will try to kill as many as I can. But yeah, it's not easy, as I already said, but it's a pleasure for me. I like the role. I'm just sorry that I didn't take this role earlier.
Oh, wow. Okay, beautiful words from you. And you were top fracking on D2 still, so you're showing that you can do both at the same time. Donc, deuxième question. On dit souvent que les IGL doivent se faire carry pour pouvoir gagner des games, mais pourtant, il joue très bien depuis le début de l'EWC. Donc, comment il arrive à gérer les deux? Comme je le disais, évidemment, c'est pas facile. Moi, mon rôle, c'est pas de top frag, mais forcément, j'essaie d'aider mes teammates et je suis content quand j'arrive à avoir de bonnes games, évidemment. And I wanted also to ask you, because of Wrinkle, it's your first big LAN with him, if I'm not mistaken. You're a young Oper, so how has it been, having him, welcoming him to the team, and were there any adaptations needed on your side?
I think it's super important for him, this experience, especially playing in front of the crowd. We are just getting used to each other. We are getting used to him, and he's getting used to us, to see how we work and how we prep the games, how we deal with everything on LAN events. So I think it's super great experience for all of us, especially him, and I just hope that he'll continue playing amazing.
And you guys seem to be having fun on stage, and I think that's important as well, of course. Donc ouais, cette dernière question, plutôt, c'est votre première grande LAN avec votre nouvel AWPer, Wrinkle. Comment ça se passe, l'adaptation, etc. En vrai, oui, c'est important de prendre de l'expérience aussi, de voir un petit peu comment il s'adapte à nous, comment lui s'adapte et comment nous on s'adapte à lui, évidemment, comment on prépare ces grands événements en LAN aussi et comment il réagit là-dessus. Et c'est évidemment un plaisir d'être ici avec le public. And last but not least, before we get to the key crusher, I feel like a lot of analysts and a lot of fans don't agree on this one. So who better than a player who knows very well these teams and the teammates to tell me about it? Who is the biggest threat in the lower, the lower part of the bracket? We think of the best teams in the world. I've heard Falcons, I've heard Vitality, Navi, Spirit. Who do you think is the most dangerous team here at the EWC?
I think it's hard to say because it's the beginning of the season. I don't think anybody showed yet the best CS like it was for Major Cologne. But I would say Falcons because they won the Major, and but anybody can surprise, to be honest, Vitality, Spirit. So yeah, I will give it to Falcons, but they are not that stronger comparing to other teams.
Do you think you're biased, or is it because of the Major performance?
Sorry?
Do you think you're biased a little bit because of Monesi and Nico?
Nah. No, it's all good. I'm happy for them, and I just hope we'll meet in the finals.
Of course, and we hope that too, évidemment. Donc, qui est la meilleure équipe du monde actuellement selon toi? C'est dur à dire. Je pense qu'il n'y a pas une équipe qui montre un CS parfait en ce début de saison, mais si je dois choisir une équipe, je dirais quand même Falcons. Et je ne suis pas biaisée, mais j'espère évidemment rejoindre Monesi et Nico en finale. And now it's time for the key crusher. Hunter, I'm very glad to welcome you to that EWC signature moment. Anything you want to tell Hooksy before you break his key?
I'm sorry, brother.
I'm sorry, brother, says him with a smile as our key master shows the way to Hunter at the STC Arena. Our first key crush on this stage for CS. And Astralis are out of the competition. G2 move on, and they could do good. And the club championship as well. Hunter shows it in Paris. That was actually pretty good. That was really good, actually. I've got to welcome you back in front of your fans for one last question. Hunter, you've been a part of G2 for, almost 7 years now. And no matter the roster, no matter the teammates, you've always had fans chanting for you and cheering for you. So I would like to know, because you played with legends, why do you believe in that roster specifically? Why do you think these boys can do good at the EWC?
I think we are capable of doing good things. We didn't show our A game yet on this event, but we are improving and we are trying to be better and better, and I think that's what we are showing so far. Now we'll be playing against real good teams. I don't disrespect the teams that we played against, but now we can play Furia and some other teams, so yeah. We'll see. We just need to keep going, keep grinding, and that's it. And merci les gars.
Oh, merci les gars, and I'm sure that you're going to be ready for it, of course. Thank you very much for joining me, Hunter. Effectivement, on va être prêt pour ces grands moments avec cette équipe. On se prépare, là on va arriver face aux plus grandes équipes et aux plus grands joueurs, avec tout le respect pour ceux qu'on a déjà affrontés. Mais on sera là, on sera au rendez-vous, and make sure to join us for our next game, Aurora versus Furia, after a short break.
After 3 games, G2 is powering into your quarterfinals, and that, of course, is going to earn them some serious points towards the club championship. They will earn money if they continue on in the tournament. As for Astralis, Neo, please do not leave Paris before I get to say hi to you. It is a bummer to see them exit after a great game 1. We've got Dupree and Yanko to break it all down for me. Gentlemen, what did we witness here in the studio? What did you see in that game 3? Dupree, I want to start with you on Inferno.
I think turning our attention to Inferno, it was suspected to be a little bit closer, right? The scoreline was still 13-7 for G2, and I think overall the best team also just won this series. I think when it came to closing out the rounds and playing the situation correctly, G2 just had the upper hand in most of them, and it came down to the fact of Nerds playing well, and again, Hunter continue his good form from Dust 2. Good to see that G2, despite fumbling some of the rounds that we are going to be breaking down, still managed to close out the game and, you know, moving into the playoffs where, you know, they once again find them in a position where they can potentially make top 4, which they have been hunting for so long.
I think it's also, Chris, we talked about, who did we talk about on the first map for Astralis? Fuzi and Ryu, right? And you could see them at the bottom of the scoreboard on this last map. I'm not putting in just on them. It was hard for them, especially on the CT side, because G2 was going a lot towards B, and then they were just saving, so they didn't see a ton of action. But, you know, it's usually at these deciders where the stars kind of get to shine and get to prove their worth, and the G2 guys definitely did that.
Now, I'm kind of a noob here. I haven't been able to work on your guys' game in the last few months or a few years. Let's take a look, though, at a star that I asked production to put a little montage for. He dropped 21 kills in this game, 15 deaths. As we take a look at Nerds, what does he bring to the table, and what should I expect to see from this young man from G2?
I think it's good to see that Nerds finally getting some of that credit that he was so good at back in ends. You know, his time in Liquid was something that we look at and maybe want to consider not counting it, because it's just good to see that he's back in a team that gets his playstyle to function. He's a very vocal player. He is that second voice in the team. He likes to go for these players, and you can just tell with the majority of the fights that he took on Banana, he sets himself up to success. Like even that last round where he catches 3 guys shooting through the smoke, right? So he's a very important piece to this lineup. He's one of those guys that creates the space, creates the rounds, and puts Hunter into favorable situations.
You get to see a playmaker, Chris. That's who you get to see. And I know that last time you were doing CS, you know, Liquid was in major finals. And
Simple is playing for America.
They were doing really well, right? But nowadays, it's where great players go to die. And that's what you're seeing now. Nerds back from Liquid found the joy of the game again, and he's just been a menace on this in Inferno, and generally on Inferno for G2 in that banana area on the CT side. He's just a multi-kill machine.
Shout out to my old director, Corey Dunn, and the rest of the Banana Boys. We love to see it finish the way we play it. Just spray through the smoke, get a 3K for Nerds. We got to take a look, though, at one of the big rounds in this one. You called it out to production. You said we got to revisit round 2. Why was this so important for G2?
Well, 2 reasons. First, I told you Hunter was going to target Hooksy. I told you he was going to go B. And second, you see some of the prep which G2 is really good at. So here, first, the setup is a little bit strange because Hooksy with the MP9 is playing far and supporting, but Stair is playing close with the M4. You can see G2 did this a couple of times. They just timed the B execute behind the half-wall smoke to sort of break the counter utility from the CTs. And then when the execute comes in, you see Stair here just gets 1 kill, gets traded. Hooksy does the same, right? You're wondering, okay, I know it's Stair and you want the M4 on him, but if he's going to play this angle and this is going to be the setup, perhaps it makes more sense to just give him the MP9 or at least swap roles. Put Hooksy to play close and Stair to support him to util so he could maybe multi-kill pushing through that smoke. From that point on in the 3v3, it's again a hard retake for the side of Astralis. Hunter does it with